What's going on, Atlanta Raichu fans? It is your coach of the Atlanta Raichus, Playmaker here, giving you another exciting week of the TBL up here against my good friend Hef Nassi, who is the coach of the St. Louis Charizards. Now, looking at his team, he brought just about what I expected him to bring. I was a little unsure of whether Jolteon was coming or not, but it makes sense just because it's able to outspeed things should my Mega Gyarados get enough speed. Basically, Jolteon would outspeed a +1 Mega Gyarados. So yeah, and I'm thinking that Volcarona has a good chance of sweeping, and Mega Gyarados has a really good chance of sweeping. Zeraora does a lot to his team too. So I really like where we're at with that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get on with the match. So I lead off with my Crobat, and he goes ahead and leads off with his Gliscor. Now I just do not want this thing setting up Stealth Rock, so I just taunt the thing. But he actually goes for the Ice Fang, pops my Yachi Berry, and I'm just like, this is terrible, because I was supposed to save that for the Weavile and just do whatever I can up against it. And so he is going to switch out into the Jolteon. I'm going to U-turn out just because I knew he's not going to stay in and pretty much click Earthquake, right? That would just have been silly. And this is a free switch into my Zeraora, which really does pressure this Jolteon, because Jolteon can kind of do something against me, but not really. And then I just get a free close combat here. And I don't want to take a chance as to see if this Keldor is really just able to take a Plasma Fist Mask, because if it isn't, then I would have died. But he switched out into Weavile, and if I had just clicked Plasma Fist, then that Weavile would actually just have been dead. But you know, that's fine. I click U-turn, but he has Protect on Weavile. This is just from talking to Hef. He doesn't really know about Weavile's sets too much, just because I think this is like his first time using it. We were talking and went over some things that Weavile could do. But anyways, I U-turn out because, you know, U-turn's pretty free as well. And then he goes for a Scald, and he gets the burn, which is very unfortunate just because, you know, burn damage is still going to chip me away. I don't have Moonlight on this thing. I have Thunder Wave, and I wish I had Moonlight on the Xemnas, and you're going to see that it would have made my life a lot easier. And I just take this time to get up on my screens, and well, I only had Reflect actually, and then Stealth Rock is my next play. I should have gone for Stealth Rock first and then Reflect, just from a battle perspective in terms of chronology. But yeah, I know the Xemnas is going to be useful later, especially against the Keldor, so I want to save this thing and just go out into Crobat. If my Crobat gets burned, it's whatever, but I just also wanted to, I believe I will go for the Taunt, if I'm not mistaken. No, I go for the U-turn. I should have gone for the Taunt, actually, just because it would have frozen the Melodic. It would have basically limited Gliscor's options. And, you know, being under a Reflect, he has the choice, and he also has Rocks on his side of the field too, so he has the choice of either defogging or hitting me, and he's going to choose defog, which is a smart play on his part, but at the same time I feel like I can do a lot of damage to him too. So I just really want this Gliscor dead because it's really his only check to Zero Aura for the most part. And you're going to see he has a bit of special defense investment. We get the special attack boost. He goes for the Earthquake, and you're going to see that he gets a major crit. And I'm so mad. I'm so mad because that's in range for Conkeldurr to get a Mach Punch. It's in range for Weavile to get an Ice Shard on me. So I was so upset. And you know, also Jolteon outspeeds too. So that I was really upset about. Really upset about. And then he just goes for Shadow Ball. And he kills my Volcarona. Yay! That did everything I was hoping it would do. Said no one ever. Okay, so I get my free switch into Zero Aura. And yeah, so he's gonna switch out. He's gonna go into his Melodic, and I'm just gonna go for Bulk Up. I know that he doesn't want to stay in with Jolteon, and I kind of had an idea that this thing was Wakanberry Mirror Coat, so I just wanted to pop the Wakanberry first, so I would get a 2-hit KO on it, and so then he gets paralyzed, which is, he was just kind of raging at this point, and I don't want to risk my Zero Aura getting burned, so I go for another Plasma Fist to finish it off. I mean, I could have just gone for another Bulk Up with the potential chance that he gets paralyzed again, but I just didn't want him to haze or recover and make this a really long drawn out battle. And so I actually kind of misplay here. I should have gone for another Bulk Up before going for the close combat. And yeah, so had I done that, I would have chipped down the Mega Charizard even more. And you're going to see that he's actually a very bulky Charizard set, which I found was very surprising. See, if I had bulked up again, I would have survived that Flare Blitz. And I was also thinking about switching out, but I could not risk Charizard getting to +1 and then just killing me, you know? So we go for the Earthquake, and you know, when Zero Aura went down, I realized how like pivotal Zero Aura would have been for late game too. And I was like, wow, because it would have checked the Conkeldurr, it would have checked the Weavile. It, you know, I think, yeah, had I had Zero Aura, it would have definitely made my life a lot easier. And he's going to Ice Shard. I was hoping he didn't have it if in the event that he didn't think I was Scarfed, or if he had Icicle Crash instead. But you know, Garchomp was affordable to let go down, just because I really would have only been able to pressure the Conkeldurr if anything, and so I kind of tried to play around because I knew he was carrying Low Kick. That's the only way he could really take down the Mega Gyarados, and he goes for Ice Shard. And you're going to see that it does not kill. And I was okay with letting Crobat go down. And I could have roosted had I actually paid attention. Well, his last move could have either been Knockoff or Icicle Crash. So in the event that he was running Double Ice, you know, that I guess my play should have been Roost there. But in any case, I wanted to get another Intimidate on the Weavile, and then I'm going to double out, go back into my Crobat. Now I'm going to Roost up, because he actually cannot risk me potentially having the Brave Bird. So that was the move there. And so really my play here is to Roost, and I can't remember if he is Life Orb. I think he's Life Orb, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he is Life Orb. So my play 100% of the time should have just been to keep roosting until the Weavile just died to life orb, essentially. But I kind of misplayed, and luckily he did not go out into Jolteon, because if he went out into Jolteon, then that might have been GG. Just because he would have Thunderbolted, and then he would have just killed me from there. But yeah, so we live on what? That I can't believe Crobat is so freaking bulky. Well, it's quad resist, so that makes sense in a way. But he just goes ahead and Mach Punches me, and it's not going to risk anything. And then I go out into Xemnas here, and he can predict. So basically, if there was a lot of mind games here, because and also I had no idea if he had knockoff either. So really, I'm hoping Mega Gyarados just cleans up at this point. But yeah, so really the thing here is that if he expects me to Dragon Dance, then his play is to Drain Punch. Drain Punch or switch out. But I guess he didn't really think it through entirely, because the only way I win this is if I outspeed Jolteon, and if I just make sure that you know, that the Conkeldurr also dies too. You know, like that I don't let it let my Mega Gyarados get into Mach Punch range after taking a Thunderbolt, for example, or taking enough Drain Punches to put it into Mach Punch range. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into +2, and then I probably could have lived another whatchamacallit, Drain Punch, and just gone for a third Dragon Dance just to make sure that I survive. Because had he been max speed Jolteon, he would have won. But I kind of knew he had a little bit of bulk in him, because he really did take the U-turn pretty well that from my Crobat. So, you know, great game to Hef Nasty. He really played well. I guess I got, it was kind of a little sloppy in the end, as you guys saw. I made a few misplays, but we were able to overcome them and learn from them and make sure that we do better here on out for the season. So up next, we're playing up against I'll let you guys know I'm recording this much after the fact, so I'm like recording this during like week 7 battles right now. So really, we're playing up against CJ's team, which was formerly owned by Brendan. So that'll be good. That'll be fun. It's CJ's actually got quite the reputation. He actually beat Coinx in a different league, in which he had like an undefeated streak going on too. And Coinx is a really good battler. I'll give him that. So, you know, if CJ was able to beat him, then, you know, you got to respect CJ. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and Volt Switch out of here. I will see you guys next week for the team builder and for the actual battle up against CJ. So, take care, everyone. I'll see you guys later. Peaces.